All right, everybody, I am streaming. I'm hoping that this is coming through to you. I'm going to copy our link and I'm going to also post on Twitter. I don't see my face showing up. Hopefully I'm streaming. I can't tell quite yet. Let's see what this thing says. It says I'm streaming. Let's see, there I am. I'm showing up on the screen. That's exciting. All right, let me go post the link on the page. Edit page. The page is jollyrogerukulele.com. That's where we post all of our links for the day, sheet music for the day, so on. Today is Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. I am linking to the broadcast. And today we're going to be reviewing our yesterday. Yesterday was a lot. We have 8 lessons in one on the first day. It's a lot to cover. And so we'll be reviewing that information, and then we will be playing out of the little book, the strumming book. This is always a bit of a fascinating class. So let's see how we do. Double check that that's working. I'm going to go post on Twitter, https://jollyrogerukulele.com, and then I got that'll pop up, and then I'm going to add the photo. I didn't make a lesson 9 slide yet, so we'll just use the lesson 1 through 8 slide, and we will tweet. Right, so there's that we have tweeted, and then let's see. As you log in, let me know if the sound is good, and then if you're logged in Gmail or YouTube, you can chat, and so that's always helpful. Just to let me know that the sound is good. And let's see, Valerie made it in. Snow-covered Chicago, sounding good. So Valerie has had 35 below degree temperatures and 17 inches of snow. So she wins, as far as I can tell. I don't know if anybody got hit any harder than her. We did have a bunch of, nationally, a lot of people were struggling down in Texas. But in terms of people that I know that come in here, I think Valerie wins for having the worst weather of anybody. All right, let's do that. And there's that. Let's see, it's 12:05. We'll start here in a couple minutes. People are probably logging in a tiny bit late. I haven't done a great job of getting emails out about the new start on this program, and so we may have a smaller group for this one, which is fine, which means that if you have questions or comments or concerns as we go along, you will definitely be able to get more information on that stuff. Today, we will quickly review everything we talked about yesterday. We will play Frere Jacques one more time through. So one, just make sure you have Frere Jacques available to you. And then we're also playing out of the little book here, which if you printed it out double-sided short edge binding, it comes out like a little book. If you printed it out any other way, you'll have to fish around and find the pages we're working on. But I kind of love this. This is the one day when I teach you ukulele the way everybody else teaches you ukulele. So I spend all of my life telling you how we're going to play ukulele differently, in a different way than most people play ukulele. But when we work on this book, we play it exactly like everybody else. And so this is your moment to get where you're in with the cool people in ukulele. And then after that, we don't spend a ton of time on this book, and we move on to rather more complicated activities. And so I want to make sure you're in good shape in there. Let's see, look at Linda made it in from Colorado Springs, waiting for the next round. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get some snow, huh, Linda? Jim is in. He's from real. I guess when I say Valerie has the worst weather, it doesn't include Jim. Jim is way north up in Alberta, and he has more snow on July 4th than most of us have the rest of the year. So Mary G in from Golden. Guys, glad you're here, let's get started. The first thing is just a really quick rundown of some stuff we talked about yesterday. Yesterday is kind of the big day. Number one, you should have on the Colorado specific information, you have my name, my phone number, and email. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop me a line. Second thing we talked about, and I'm going to hold up a baritone today for most of the class today because it's not going to really matter. We play as an ensemble today, but big takeaways from yesterday in terms of posture. One, ukuleles against your belly. Two, it's about a 45 to 60 degree angle, somewhere in here. Going to do yourself a huge favor by getting a strap, drilling a little pilot hole in the bottom of your ukulele, and putting on a strap onto that. The people sometimes get a little nervous. They're like, "Oh gosh, you can take it into a guitar shop and do it, or you can take a little regular drill, little pilot hole, put this nut on the end, and then tie your strap on." I have a just regular shoestring type attachment here, and that in and of itself is very going to make your life a lot easier. We're going to be playing with both this hand and this hand doing stuff, so you're not going to be able to hold the ukulele and do like this. It's not going to work. You're going to need a strap. Second thing is the only other main posture element. I want to make sure you're super clear on this. The pad of your thumb goes on the back of the neck and nowhere else. Okay, so I don't ever see your thumb sticking up here. That is a telltale sign right there that either you started playing with guitar or you taught yourself on YouTube. This is death. Okay, this is not at all what you want. You want your thumb down here, and you want this because that allows your fingers to have a nice round shape as they're coming in over the top of this onto the fretboard. It's going to allow you to make your bars much more efficiently. The only reason that this is a bit of a problem is you're going to have to develop the muscle here. When you see guys playing like this, the guitar is actually set in their palm, and they think that that's better, but all that's done is make it very challenging and complicated to get their chord shapes in, and not at all what they want long term. This one will help you build the correct strength in your hand to have really nice enjoyable playing posture all the time. That's kind of the big stuff off of that posture playing. There's some stuff about what you should buy and not buy and so on there. Let's make sure your instruments are tuned up. Some of you have baritones, some of you have ukuleles. Let's tune up baritones first. Baritone, D, dark, G, gloomy, B, baritones, and E, explode. There's no good sayings for D, G, B, E. D, G, B, E. Okay, that's your tuning. Let me try one more time. Make sure your sound's close to mine. D, G, B, E. You can double check it. 4th fret, 4th string. Sounds the same as the one below it. 4th fret, 3rd string, sounds the same as the one below it. And then 5th fret, 2nd string, sounds the same as the one below it. Okay? So that's how you get in tune relative to yourself. And a lot of times, if you end up, you're in a coffee shop and there's an unsupervised baritone ukulele sitting there, you may not have your tuner with you, and that's how you would tune it up. Get the top string where you kind of feel like it's happy, and then tune the other ones to that top string. Ukulele, George Clooney eats apples. We're bringing George back. G, C, E, and A. Okay, to double check your tuning, 2nd fret, 4th string, sounds the same as the bottom string. Okay. Next one, 4th fret, 3rd string, sounds the same as the one below it. And then finally, 5th fret, 2nd string, sounds the same as the one below it. You can hear a tiny bit of difference there. Tighten up the bottom one just a smidge, and then it sounds better. All right, there's that. Next, we talked about getting to know your fretboard. For those of you guys that are new to music, or you don't haven't taken piano lessons or something in your life, you really don't need to know the names of these notes on here. You will learn a bunch of them as you go along, but you don't need to sit down and study it like it's a separate subject. You will eventually be real comfortable with how the piano keyboard works, and we're going to actually have a lesson on that next week, and to make sure, because that's what you need to know, is how the notes on a piano look, not on a ukulele. Because once you know the notes on a piano, you know the notes on all instruments, and so we'll be talking about that next week. But you did have that piece of paper on that I handed out with there. You might find the chord chart helpful, ukulele players. I don't have one for baritone yet. But really, you want to download a tuner or a chord chart, a chord finder onto your phone. There's tons of them out there. Look around, see which one you like. That's the way to go these days. The days of having a chart that you had to look stuff up on, we used to do that all the time. We don't have to do that anymore. Do make sure you printed out the practice log and the progress tracker. It'll make you happy to see how quickly you're progressing and what's going on in your life. Let's see, who else? We had a few other people wander in. Vic made it in. Sunny, Wi-Fi trouble in Eugene. That's the last thing we want to hear. No, Rob, who has logged in, has given us an example of what's worse than the Wi-Fi going out, and that is the heat going out. These days when the Wi-Fi goes out, we're all in a panic. But Rob had his heat go out. Q made it in. Hi, Q. 21 degrees and more snow, Garrett. Oh my gosh, been splitting firewood and have my oven home and electric heat. My HVAC person is coming tomorrow, thinking of moving north somewhere warmer. yeah. You probably do better moving to northern Alberta. Dogbone, DGBE, Dogbone. Oh my God, Jim, you're my hero, Dogbone. I'm going to change that sheet for Dogbone. Love that. Dogbone. Dogbe, Dogbone. There we go. Look at there. Jim, you're my hero. We are officially changing that page. That's exciting. Rob, sorry, honestly, we've been watching the news with Texas, and it's just it's so sad and so difficult to think about. And of course, immediately politics is all involved in all that. Y'all Texans like your politics, but honestly, it's scary, right? I mean, a lot of people without heat down there, really, really frustrating. So, hopefully you're safe. Good to hear that you got a way to fireplace. No, your HVAC guys down there are probably like, I don't like working in this industry anymore. So, all right. Anytime you need a warm place to stay, Rob, you can stop by here. Although our heater went out here this winter, and we just got the new ones installed and on the process of getting up to go. Glad to have electricity. Yeah, we saw that photo of Houston where the entire city is black except for right downtown. All the buildings are just lit up just like candles, and of course they use that as whatever. All right, let's play Forever Shaka. Baritone players, you're going to play with me on chords. So baritone players, your A chord, index, middle, ring. Okay, index, middle, ring. You're going to play, that's what you're playing baritone-wise. Give me 4 strums per measure. Okay, ukulele players, you're playing with me on melody. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, second string, first string. That's what you're going to do. Okay? Let's give it a try. Make sure that everything's feeling good. Okay? Baritone players, please play chords. 4 strums per measure. I'm going to play the melody. Ukulele players, you're going to play along with me. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, second string, first string. Beautiful. That's what we want to do. Ukulele players, I want you to switch to your chords. You're going to give me 4 beats. Your A chord looks like this: index finger, 1st fret, 3rd string, middle finger, top string, 2nd fret. Okay? And you're going to play with me. I'm going to sing and pluck the melody. You're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Every measure. Don't even when, no matter what's going on in the melody, don't try to keep up with me. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. Baritone players, you're on A chord still. 1, 2, 3, 4. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John, strum. Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ringing. Ding, ding, dong, strum. Hopefully it sounded amazing at your house. Let's switch to the baritone piece of paper now. If I didn't advertise it strongly enough yesterday, that activity, this one sheet of paper, your Frere Jacques piece of paper, is what will take you almost all the way through the rest of your life having nothing to do except play ukulele. It's really, really an important piece of paper because it teaches you how to make chords, teaches you how to strum, teaches you how to play melody, teaches you how to read tablature. It's a very, very important piece of paper, so I want to make sure you're feeling really comfortable with your Frere Jacques. We're switching to baritone now. Baritone players, you're going to play melody with me. Same exact melody pattern, 0240, 0240, and so on. Ukulele players, you are playing an E chord, so you're going to put a bar on 4 and your pinky on 7, and then you're going to squeeze like heck. Okay, and so you want to try to get it where it's all, you're going to hear all of the strings, and it's definitely a challenge. But this E chord, there's all kinds of discussion on the internet about how to avoid an E chord. I give it to you on day 1 because it's actually going to be part of it at what we do. What you're really playing here is you're really playing a C chord, but then you've taken and moved everybody up to fret number 4, which puts this pinky on 8. That's what you're doing. Now squeeze the heck out of it. Make sure your thumb is right behind where your middle finger is. Okay, a little bit in front of your bar here, and you're going to press down all these. If you end up sounding like this, that's okay for now. It'll get better. Okay, but what you really want, nice clean tones. Okay, yours will sound a little different because you're playing an E, and on this instrument, this is not an E. Okay, baritone players, you're going to play one note at a time, 0, 2, 4, 0, and so on. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Beautiful. Okay, so that's the idea. Your goal is to be able to play it at basically at that speed. Play it with me. Then baritone players, we're going to join the ukulele players. Ukulele players, you stay on your E chord, bar, pinky. Baritone players, you're going to do index and middle, and now you have your E chord on. Okay, we're all going to play together. Instead of strumming this time, guys, take these 4 fingers, thumb on top of the 4th string, index finger underneath the 3rd string, middle finger underneath the 2nd string, ring finger underneath the 1st string. And now just don't pull, don't do anything from your elbows. You're just going to collapse your knuckles and your wrist is going to come back a little bit. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. This process here called playing with your claw. You're just plucking at all 4 strings. Okay, holding your chord. And baritone players, you are holding this shape. Ukulele players, you're holding this shape. Okay, and we're all just plucking all 4 strings. 2. Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonne les matines, sonne les matines. are going to need to get full control over this right hand, and the way we begin that is switching from, instead of just purely strumming all the time, to doing some plucking. Okay. All right. So now, by the way, I did want to mention Rob is here despite having no heat in his house. Okay. If he can show up for this, you can show up for this, right? Now, that's yesterday's stuff. Okay. Yesterday's stuff is going to come back again and again and again and again. So everything that we talked about yesterday, every single thing is important. And so don't be shy about reviewing that material, reading through it. If you didn't read every single word on all those pages, take time to do that. The only page you don't need to read everything on is the Colorado specific information. If you're not in Colorado, you don't care. But you do care what my phone number and my email address is. So and you need to know it's okay to send stuff to there. The other thing that's not really on those papers is you're going to make so many mistakes over the next 6 weeks. It's ridiculous. It's going to be crazy how many mistakes you make. I would encourage you very much to just let them go. Every single musician, I know a bunch of professional musicians, every one of them says, I make a mistake on stage. On stage, people are paying me to be there every single night. Okay, so it happens. It's something that's part of making music. This is an incredibly challenging, incredibly high-level activity. You're going to make a ton of mistakes. Get comfy with them. Just be comfy. You'll hear me and see me make mistakes all day long when I'm teaching on class. I don't lose anything. I don't go home like, oh, I played miserable, right? There are times I do that, but not really, because I know this is a hard thing to do. You're going to make a ton of mistakes. If you are into perfectionism, this is not the activity for you. You're going to have to let it go. There's nothing that's going to get in your way more than perfectionism, and so we're in the business of getting it close and having a good time while we're doing it, and then moving on to the next activity. All right, now let's talk about this book. Dun, 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 dun. Mine's printed out in black and white, unfortunately, but yours, you can print yours out in color. The one thing you should know about this book, if it is a red headline, there's only one chord in that song. So the first couple of pages, you have all your red headlines. Okay, that's just one chord, and we're going to play those mostly today. Then there's some ones with green headlines; those have 2 chords in them. There's some with blue headlines; those have 3 chords in them, and then there's a couple with four chords in them, and those are purple. Okay, so that's one thing. Second thing about this book is I have the exact same thing for baritone, guitar, and ukulele. The only thing that changes is the shape of these chords. So let's talk ukulele, or we'll talk baritone first. Make sure you know your chords. Baritone chords, you're going to play an A chord, index, middle, ring. You have an F sharp minor. I wouldn't worry about that right now, but it's going to be a bar on 2, ring on 4. Okay. Then your D chord is down here, index, middle, and ring. And then your E7 is right here, just a 1 on the 3rd fret. And then you come back to A chord. Okay, so that's going to take you a little while to get comfy with that. We're going to work on each of those chord shapes as we go along. Ukulele players, you have a different set. You have your A chord looks like this, index and middle. We already did that one for Jacques. Okay, your F sharp minor, just add your ring finger, 2nd string, 2nd fret. Okay, your D chord looks like baritone A chord, index, middle, ring on the upper strings. Okay, and then from D chord, then E7 is fairly straightforward to get to. Move this finger back 1 and drop your ring finger down 1. And that's your E7 and back to A. Okay, so let's just focus in on A chord right at the moment. So ukulele players put this chord on, baritone players, you're putting that shape on. We can play together using this book. Top song is in A, so for ukulele players, you've already been playing this in A, and baritone players, you're now going to be playing it in A, right? You've been playing it along with the ukulele players. Let's give it a try. Frere Jacques, I did write out the tab just in numbers up there. You can ignore that because you have the actual sheet music. The little bracket, and it says A, that tells you which chord it is, A. Here we go, 1, 2, ready, play. Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John, morning bells are ringing. just strumming, just having a great time. When you go to your local ukulele strum along, if you start a local ukulele strum along, that is how you will do things. And you've seen that kind of sheet music all over the internet. It's completely littering our instruments history and we treat it as folk music. When you go to a folk music jam, that's what they do. They hand out the lyrics and the chords, and that's it. And then you're expected to know what your chords are. Over the next 6 weeks, you'll learn a whole bunch of your chords, and of course, playing with the upper level class, you'll learn all of your chords. But that's what we're doing is. Right, just playing along with the song, and if you don't know the melody, you're hoping somebody that shows up knows how to sing, and they'll be fine. Strumming. Give you the fastest strumming lesson that you'll ever get, and it has everything you need to know. One is thumb down. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Now notice I don't change the pace. I don't change anything about it. I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ringing. Doesn't matter what's going on inside the melody. It always stays the same. It always stays the same. When you're a singer, when I get a lot of singers in the studio, and they're like, "Man, I gotta get better at strumming." No, you don't. You have to get steady at strumming. Okay, 3, 4. Then your voice can sing over the beat. A lot of newer players will go, "Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing," and that's not what you want to do. You want to keep it steady. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want to make it fancier, index finger. Make sure the face of your fingernail is pointed down toward the floor. It's a bit of an exaggeration the way we teach this, and then you'll eventually get better at it. What you don't want is the face of your fingernail facing up here to the nut. Okay, so you don't want that. Okay, you need it to be facing down a little bit, down, and then come back up with the pad. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And notice my finger is actually doing all the work there. My hand is just sort of helping out, but really the finger's going down fast and coming back up. And it's actually tucking itself back in. Frere Jacques, Frere. Now notice nothing has changed. I'm still stringing 1, 2, 3, 4. By hitting the strings coming up, it really sounds like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. Nothing changed in my right hand at all. Nothing changed in my left hand. The only thing that changed was the way I was singing the melody. Okay, so step 1 strumming, down. Step 2 strumming, index. Step 3, we just did it earlier. Take index on the top string. Thumb on the top string, index underneath the 3rd string, middle finger underneath the 2nd string, ring finger underneath the 1st string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. Again, nothing is changing here. It's just keeping the beat, just keeping it easy for me to sing on top of. I'm just providing a nice steady beat to what I'm doing here. Okay, so there's that. Then, next up that comes is, which we will be doing later, okay, in much more detail, thumb, index, middle, ring. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John. Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ringing. Ding dang dong. Ding dang dong. Okay, so this is called arpeggio picking. Okay, and that's the other major group that your picking will fall into. So basically, the only strumming issues you need to think about is sometimes I'm going to strum with my thumb, sometimes I'm going to strum with my index finger, sometimes I'm going to pluck with all 4, and sometimes I'm going to pluck 1 at a time. that's the basics. Okay, there's no end of discussion on the internet, which is a waste of time for you to go look at. But about fancier strum patterns, about this, that, and the other thing, it's absolutely a waste of your time and energy. Just know, for the most part, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Always it's about the beat, it's never about the pattern. So even if I do some fancy pattern, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John. It's still just 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just I'm doing some fancy stuff to make it sound prettier and more interesting. But until in the beginning, you just need to get 1, 2, 3, 4. You're always going to be able to fancy that up later on. But until you get a good steady beat, just doing the basics, you're probably putting the cart before the horse. Now, let's go on to the next song. We have Three Blind Mice. I'm going to switch over to baritone. Your chord stays the same. Still in 4/4. You guys are going to play with me. Find either this strum, this strum, this strum, or this strum. Okay, from the top. We'll just do it one time through, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Three blind mice. Three blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as three blind mice? Okay, so I switched to instruments, right? Still held the A chord, okay? Ukulele kept your A chord on, and we sounded amazing together, theoretically, okay? Theoretically. Let's switch the page. Go on to page 2. You're looking for page 2 in here. It's got Row, Row, Row Your Boat on it. By the way, the book is meant to be taken apart so that you can play, so you can put the chords where you can look at them. The problem is page 2, you can't look at the chords and play. So just know on this one, you got to kind of know what you're doing. Baritone, your D chord looks like this. Index finger on 3, 2nd fret. Middle finger on the 1st string, 2nd fret. Ring finger out here, 3rd fret, 2nd string. Okay, ukulele players, your D chord is just straight from top to bottom in the 2nd fret. 4th string, 2nd fret. 3rd string, 2nd fret. 2nd fret. 2nd string, 2nd fret. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat right across the lake. Don't stand up and rock the boat, oh, that's a big mistake. Okay, there you go. So there's your D chord. What you're really learning is, what does an A chord look like? What does a D chord look like? How can I keep my right hand steady while I sing the song? Farmer in the Dell, just very briefly, we won't spend much time on it. Possibly the dumbest song ever. I have several other candidates that are on the list, but this one's pretty big, pretty high up on there. Let's grab that. We'll just do a couple verses. 1, 2, 3. The farmer in the dell. Let me get it right. The farmer in the dell. The farmer in the dell. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. The farmer takes a wife. The farmer takes a wife. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer takes a wife. The cheese stands alone. The cheese stands alone. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the cheese stands alone. Right? Just remember, this hand is mostly a drum beat. It's just keeping a steady pace. Whatever you're choosing to do over here, keeping a steady pace. This is where this determines what the style, what the the chord coming out is, this determines really the overall effect you're trying to get. Finally, last song on this is Lime and a Coconut, and I love teaching this to little kids. So you'll notice in Lime and a Coconut down at the bottom, I've got doctor, doctor, doctor printed in bold. And with little kids, when we get there, I say, now your job is to scream at the top of your lungs, doctor. And they will do it. They obey as if I am a third world dictator. I say, you must scream doctor when we get to doctor, and little kids scream doctor at the top of their lungs when we get there. The librarians are always like, oh, Gary, please don't teach them that. So let's grab your E7. Baritone players, you're right here, just 3rd fret, 1st string. That's it. That's all you have to do. Ukulele players, index finger on the 4th string, top fret, middle finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string, and then ring finger, 1st string, 1st fret. A little bit complicated when you first do it, but it'll come along. Okay? That's your E7. This is the RE7. 1, 2, 3. My brother bought a coconut, he bought it for a dime. My sister had another one and spent it on a lime. You put the lime in the coconut, shake it all up. You put the lime in the coconut, drink it all up. You put the lime in the coconut, then you'll perk on up. Called the doctor, woke him up, and here is what I said. I said, doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I said, doctor, to relieve this belly ache. I said, doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? You put the lime in the coconut, then you'll feel much better. Put the lime in the coconut, put them both together. Put the lime in the coconut, and call me in the morning. Take your index finger. You see the 2 stars at the bottom of this song? That means a tremolo. Okay? Index finger. Okay? You're going to go down and up, and you're mostly going to be twisting from your wrist. Open your palm up. That's your tremolo. When you go to a ukulele strum along, everybody, not everybody every time, but a lot of times they'll end with because it's funny, right? So let them do that. And then the Eddie Van Halen finish, I always teach this to little kids, and usually the little boys will end up racking their knuckles on here, but up and then bonk, like that, right? So just bring it down as a big finish. They don't know who Eddie Van Halen is. They don't need to know who Eddie Van Halen is. But the idea is you've got this secret information. Okay, we're going to do the Eddie Van Halen finished. Right, and that's your Eddie Van Halen. Linda made it in. Aloha. I'm here to warm up for the next class. Yeah, that's exciting. That's a good idea. All right, so now you've learned A chord. You've learned E7. Learned D. And you learned F sharp minor. Okay, F sharp minor only shows up a couple of times in the book, so don't make that your primary activity. Let's go play a song. I like London Bridges, so find London Bridges in here. London Bridges, please. Now, one of the things that comes up on, I think it's page 10, if I remember right. Yeah, page 10. And remember, I'm putting page 10 in front of me, but page 1 is free, so I can set that next to here to help me remember how to play it. London Bridges at the bottom of page 10 underneath Kookaburra. And yeah, Dogbone is brilliant, isn't it? We knew Jim was smart. We weren't sure about his choice of living location, being basically on the Arctic Circle, but yeah, Dogbone. All right, London Bridge is falling down, and what we want to do is we're going to now be practicing switching chords. So on ukulele, you got your A chord. London Bridge is falling down. Then you're going to switch to E7. So be thoughtful about it. Index finger goes up 1, middle finger comes down 1, add the ring finger. Falling down, and then you switch back. This one down, this one up, lose a ring finger. Falling down, London Bridge is falling down. Index up, middle down, ring over. My fair lady. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Baritone players, you are going to be going from your A to your E7. That's, you have a little bit easier job getting to E7. Just index finger over and lose these guys. And then to get back, you have a little bit harder job. Index up, middle ring. Okay? Now, London Bridge. First of all, as you go through the book, you probably know all of these songs if you're my age or older. If you're younger than us, they don't teach these songs in schools anymore, guys. And so they teach Disney now. You know, they sing along to Disney stuff. So you, as a grown adult who knows these songs likely, have an opportunity to share these with little kids in your life and say, you know what, you probably don't know these songs. And what I want you to do tonight is I want you to play through the book. I want you to spend as much time as you can playing through the book. And find those songs that are going well for you and songs that aren't going so well for you. And then London Bitches. Q. London Britches. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, London Bridges. I've already written in part of it. But go through, play the songs, make sure everything's going well. And the big thing you're really doing as you're playing through this book is just getting comfortable switching chords. Okay, that's a lot harder than you wish it would. And we're going to start with London Bridge, and then I will tell you what for sure we will play tomorrow or Friday. I've been using Dog B. Jim makes my way. Dog B. All right. I like Dog Bone. Dog B works though, right? All right. Let's go with your A chord, whatever it is. Okay. And let's play through it. Remember, we're going to do first do thumb, then do index, then do claw. Okay. And then maybe at the end we'll try this. I did change it from take the key and lock her up to take the key and have some tea. I thought it sounded more British and a lot more pleasant. Here we go from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. London Bridge is falling down. Switch to your chord. Falling down. Switch back. Falling down. London Bridge is falling down. My fair back lady. Change your strum pattern. Build it up with silver and gold. Silver and gold, silver and gold. Build it up with silver and gold. My fair lady, let's pluck. Take the key and have some tea. E7, have some tea. Have some tea. Take the key and have some tea. My fair lady. Okay, so what we're doing there when you're learning is very hard to get from one chord back to the other and back. You got to know that process will never really change, even into high advanced level stuff. Every time you get a new chord, you're like, gosh darn it, I gotta learn that chord, and it goes up against this chord, right? And so you're always going to be learning new weird hand shapes, and it is you have to train your hand to get you back and forth between the two. So what I'd suggest is start with this book, play through the whole gosh darn thing, and really try to play slow. You're in no hurry. You do not have to play that at that speed. If you have to play London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down, it's okay. It's okay for now. We don't want that long term. Long term, we want you to play it even slower so that you can play London Bridge is falling down. So you have enough time to get to your chord. Falling down. I'm playing the wrong chords on this instrument, but you get the idea, right? So slow down, play at whatever speed. Ideally, you keep the pacing steady all the way through the song, but when you're first learning, you're probably going to go fast through the easier parts and slow through the harder parts. It's a skill we have to ultimately train right back out of you, which we can. But the idea is practice changing from your chords to your chords to your chords. Okay. Sarah says, I'm actually Mindy from Montana, and Vicki Brins asked me to tell you she sent me. Boy, that Vicki has got something going on. She seems to have the magic touch to talk everybody into playing ukulele the hard way. What the heck? I gotta go get I gotta go get trained from Vicki on marketing. That's what I gotta do. Glad to have you, Sarah. So delighted you're here. And it's actually Mindy, right? You'll be Sarah until you know how to play, and then we'll call you Mindy. How about that? Right now you're masquerading as this Sarah person. Glad you're here, Mindy. So delighted. All right, now let me give you some homework thoughts. This book, I want you to play it until you're sick of it, okay? It doesn't matter that they're kids' songs. It matters that the skill set that you need to play. And so if you happen to know, oh, I know Clementine, I like that song. In a cavern, in a canyon, next to pay for mine, dropped a minor 49er and his daughter Clementine. Okay, so get where you're really comfortable switching between all these chords, and then we'll play tomorrow. I will tell you, I can assure you, without any doubt in my mind, we might play it tomorrow, we might play it Friday, but spaghetti on top of spaghetti, I promise you we will play. So what you want to spend a little bit of time on, it's got the three main chords, A chord, D chord, and E7 in there. We will for sure play that one, and we will for sure play Kookaburra, which has the greatest line in music ever written. And so on top of spaghetti's on 12, and I don't remember where Kookaburra is. I think is Kookaburra on 10 also. I think Kookaburra might be on 10. Yeah, Kookaburra is also on page 10. The reason I like to do Kookaburra is it's got all of the chords in it, and then of course on top of spaghetti is just positively brilliant songwriting. The other thing I'd like for you to do is, hey, I liked playing this song, I hated playing this song, so tomorrow bring in a few of those ideas and we'll talk about it. Because here's the nice part: Thursday, the lesson after this one, which is called Strumming in the Key of A Major, the next one's called Make a Better Bar Worksheet. Okay, that takes me about 2 minutes to show you how to do it, and then we're done. And so we have plenty of time tomorrow and Friday to dig through this book. And so don't neglect, just because it's kids song, who cares, right? It's teaching you, and mine's all a mess now. My book is out of order. It'll give you a chance to really dive into this particular key, the key of A, which is a good key on ukulele and on guitar and in piano. And so this is a key that is really fun to play with other people, and you will spend quite a bit of time thinking this through. I do think that this is what I'm like, why doesn't this work? That you could do yourself a whole lot of good long term by just really sitting down, playing through all these songs. If there's a song you don't know, come in tomorrow and say, hey, I don't know this song. We'll try it. And also use your resources, right? If you are you're on the internet right at this moment, YouTube has all of the songs, right? So you could go through, listen to a few versions of this, and then bring those to class. So questions, comments, concerns? Otherwise, that's it for the day. If you want to come to the next level class, we are working on nothing but Tin Pan Alley today. It's going to be hard to get through everything. We'll see if we make it. Okay. Let's see. So Mindy, glad to have you here. Linda, what part of your thumb are you pressing on back of the neck? What part of my thumb? Let's see. My thumb is right here all of the time. It just runs along the neck. Pad of my thumb always. Okay, so we don't want it. That we definitely don't want this up. The other thing, be very careful. I've had little kids mostly, but sometimes older adults will also, they'll do this, right, and they'll be using their whole thumb against it. You don't want to do that. Pad of your thumb perpendicular to the neck always. Okay, and then your middle finger's hanging out right here in front. So this, it turns out That motion right there, if I can get you to do that right from day one, we avoid 100% of all the other weird things that you might do. When I have, little kids especially, will put that flat because they're trying to get more strength, right? That's what they're doing because this kind of hurts. So they're trying to get more strength. The other thing I see an awful lot of, especially with little kids, they'll actually drop their thumb down underneath the fretboard so that they can set this whole thing in their palm. And I know why they're doing it. It feels very strong and solid and stable. You'll see professional guitar players with the guitar sitting firmly in their palm. It's insane. It makes playing so much more difficult. But they do that because they want that strength. Here's the truth. You don't even need your thumb. You don't even need your thumb. Here, let me show you. I'll stick my thumb. I'm not even touching. Right? I'll prove it. Okay, if I don't do it here, okay, I'll put it out here. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. So you don't need your thumb. But because in the beginning we've got to build your hand strength up, you want to put your thumb in the middle of the neck, and then for now you're going to be stretching. You're going to be using the muscle here in this part of your hand. There's 3 muscles that run your thumb. Those are the muscles we have to start building up, and so that should give you a general sense of what your thumb should be doing. Paddle your thumb, middle of the neck, in the back, right behind your middle finger. There are no exceptions to that. I'm making all of the other weird things that you might accidentally stumble upon doing will not happen if your thumb is properly located. So great question, Linda. Thank you for that. Anything else? All right, you guys, you're off on your day. I'll see some of you in the next class. I'll see the rest of you tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Linda and I and Mary, we're all here in Colorado, and we're all going to put on our parkas and sit in our living rooms and hope that we don't have the same fate as Rob has with no heat. And it's getting kind of chilly here. We're supposed to get a little bit of snow over the evening, and kind of hoping for it. It's been pretty dry here in Colorado. Our busy snow months are March and April, oddly, so we're okay so far, but we need more. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon. I'll see all of you soon. I'm going to pull the plug. Thank you all for showing up every day, doing your and bringing your questions, being vulnerable to say, hey, I don't understand what the heck we're doing. Help me out. And make sure you're always okay with that, right? This is a learning environment. We want to make sure you're playing the best you can. What we have to learn over the next 6 weeks is a lot, and it will be incredible where you are 6 weeks from now. Thanks for being here, Jim, and thanks for Dog Bone. Oh my gosh, greatest thing. Dog B, I understand. That makes a lot of sense from Mary Dog B, but Dog Bone is funny, so we'll go with Dog Bone. I'm going to go fix that sheet. All right, guys, pulling the plug. See you all tomorrow. Be good.